he made $100 million, and he's his own boss. He can say and do what he wants to do, having a great team.
Yeah.
Because no one person can do it by himself. That was the core of the team.
Gotcha.
And it was a tremendous sacrifice, especially for me. I worked like 15 years straight, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Wow.
That whole middle part of my life,
yeah,
it didn't exist. It didn't exist.
And now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed, or was it your own financial ignorance, and now you're bitter?
Taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point. Now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great tension.
You're right,
fall.
but when you call yourself the money man, you do it to yourself a little bit too.
No, I can't argue with that.
Leonard Ellerbe recently shared his perspective on Floyd Mayweather Jr. allegedly blowing through his $1.1 billion fortune and facing financial issues. He stated that the outcome didn't come as a surprise. Having worked closely with Floyd in the past, he personally witnessed the kind of extravagant spending habits that could eventually lead to serious financial problems.
Saying from day one what it is that, and they know everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me. They say, oh, he just talking nonsense. I've been told all of you guys.
Leonard Ellerbe explains that when Floyd Mayweather Jr. reaches extreme levels of fame and success, criticism naturally follows, and the real challenge is how he chooses to respond to it.
Today, when you're on top, when you're at the top, you can expect criticism. It just comes with success, and it's all about how you handle things. And me personally, none of it's personal. None of.
Leonard Ellerbe believes Floyd could have built a powerful business empire if he had approached his ventures with more seriousness and made smarter, more calculated decisions.
Who formed his own company,
right?
But he was the first one that had a team surrounded by him. That our focus was the business, and his focus was the boxing. And in turn, we built the brand, built Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And Floyd became his own boss.
Wow.
And Logan Paul mocks Floyd Mayweather Jr., claiming he is still waiting to receive the unpaid $1.5 million from their exhibition fight.
Because he's still waiting on the 1.5 from Floyd Mayweather. He made this video simultaneously with the beef with Le'Veon, and I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it isn't.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back or I'm gonna send my goons after you. Gotcha. Hey.
I really don't know why I watched that. Yeah, listen, dude. Logan is, again, functionally a coward for not doing this. I was really excited for it, too. I couldn't wait. That was going to be content, stud. But, I mean, okay, yes, I understand if he is under WWE contract, they're not going to allow.
Teddy Atlas observes that many who once supported Floyd are now mocking him, laughing at what they see as his biggest downfall.
Oh, yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made...
WAC 100 says Floyd Mayweather is not broke, insisting he is still rich in peace of mind and remains unaffected by gossip or public opinions about his life and career.
Oh, where Floyd is rich at right now?
What's that?
His peace of mind. when I send him things, like I send you things when it's pertaining to you, when he gets the time, he'll call me and he say, hey, Wack, what's that? And I tell him, he said, that's nonsense. He said, well, as long as they trying to figure me out, they not going to be able to figure out what they need to do. And he continues to move. I will say this without saying too much, that I've seen him pass on some big deals based upon business he already has on the table. But again, I've been to his home. I talk to him regular. He's my business.
Paulie Malignaggi says if Floyd Mayweather Jr. had kept his finances private, no one would question his wealth today. However, his constant public displays made people closely examine his money.
He was seeing how much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly. And they don't ask you for...
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you... Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely... They confirm you have money. And they don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is sick. Like, they guilt you into it, and you almost feel bad not.
A boxing analyst breaks down the shocking financial situation of Floyd Mayweather Jr., a man once known for flaunting his wealth. Over the years, Floyd worked with major figures like Steven Espinoza and Showtime, but he is now suing them for $340 million, claiming hidden unpaid earnings. While Al Heyman, his longtime advisor, is not directly named in the lawsuit, the legal pressure around Floyd continues to grow. The analyst also highlights that Floyd's extravagant lifestyle likely played a role in his situation, with massive collections of cars, luxury jewelry, and even a private jet.
We're going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex in
luxury apartments, high rent, and unpaid bills began piling up, leading to multiple lawsuits. A couple in Miami who owned a condo Floyd rented reported that he fell behind by nearly $500,000 in rent. Although he initially made payments, he eventually stopped responding to collection efforts. Analysts say a pattern of overspending, poor financial management, and heavy reliance on others for money decisions eventually caught up with him. They emphasize that fame and fortune do not guarantee financial stability, and even elite athletes can face bankruptcy if they fail to manage their wealth properly.
And this sum represents the $500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took. But
Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri break down how Floyd Mayweather Jr., despite earning enormous amounts, ended up facing financial trouble. Malignaggi explains that it's difficult to imagine someone at Floyd's level allowing such massive sums to go unnoticed. He compares everyday luxury spending, like buying a Ferrari or expensive jewelry, to the scale of Floyd's earnings. While small purchases may not matter, the financial level Floyd operated at required serious oversight. Chris Algieri adds that during the peak of Floyd's career, losing track of even one fight's income could result in major losses, and over time, these mistakes can stack up significantly.
I don't know, like there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend 20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what, I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went with my friend to go check out a Ferrari he was gonna buy. I went there and I'm like, I got this in my account, I could buy this right now. You know, like that, you know? And I'm not saying that's smart, what I'm saying is,
your accountant must have loved you.
yeah, really. But what I'm saying is, I got good money for that when I sold it.
I'm just
The used car market came back at the time. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it could go like that, okay? That kind of money. But bro, $340 million? That's not Ferrari, but that's a lot of Ferraris, a lot of houses.
But Floyd had a lot of Ferraris. And that's the thing about Floyd. Like, yes, is that way too much money? Yes, that's a crazy amount.
Paulie Malignaggi compares the situation to past cases, mentioning fighters like Mike Tyson who suffered major financial losses due to mismanagement and exploitation. Both analysts stress that Floyd Mayweather's issues didn't happen overnight but developed over years after earning huge sums. The situation suggests someone may have alerted him or is now reviewing his finances. The discussion highlights that fame and wealth alone do not guarantee long-term financial security, even for the biggest names in sports.
Back of an entire fight person, more than one fight, multiple fight
at the height of your career.
$340 million. There's nights where you didn't make that much money in a night.
But we heard about stuff like this with Mike Tyson back in the day. Yeah. Big money losses, people taking advantage of him, a number of different things. Now, all that being said and done, 10 years is the point. That is the major point of all of this. Because when you look about this now, 10 years, where does this come from? It makes me think that someone's gotten in his ear. And where does this come from out of nowhere? Is he going through the books now, 10 years later? No, of course not. Someone else is. Someone else is probably telling him, hey man, this is like this, this is like that. So you think
it did happen?
I don't know. I think regardless of whether it happened or it didn't, that's
what I'm wondering.
Unless it's coming out of nowhere, unless he literally is just getting just
he's losing his mind because there's a lot of rumors about him losing money, right?
Losing money, being I don't want to say destitute, but the old.
Boxing journalist Dan Raphael explains that it wasn't surprising to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. facing financial challenges after retirement. According to Raphael, anyone who followed Floyd closely could have predicted this outcome based on how openly he spent his money. His lifestyle was extremely lavish and visible, including private jets, luxury cars, expensive travel, and constant displays of wealth across media platforms.
The fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, that's like a money pit. Whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. It's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't,
Dan Raphael emphasizes that this kind of spending makes financial trouble almost inevitable. Even for someone as successful as Floyd Mayweather, unchecked expenses and a focus on luxury living can slowly drain massive earnings. People constantly saw him traveling in style, buying high-end items, and maintaining a lifestyle with huge ongoing costs. Raphael believes this serves as a lesson for athletes and celebrities alike. No matter how much you earn, living beyond sustainable limits can lead to serious consequences. The mix of public extravagance, high expenses, and long-term financial mismanagement explains why Floyd now faces monetary challenges despite record-breaking earnings.
About the $340 million, it just didn't ring true to me. Because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired or they're not with Al anymore, Nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make, and the person that he's paid, and the guidance that...
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has decided to take legal action against some of his former business partners. According to reports, despite earning over $1 billion during his undefeated career, Floyd claims a large portion of that money never reached his personal accounts. The lawsuit targets Showtime and its former president Steven Espinoza, accusing them of being involved in alleged financial mismanagement connected to Al Haymon. Although Haymon is not listed as a defendant, Floyd claims he played a key role in handling the funds.
According to TMZ, let's get to the TMZ. Floyd Mayweather sues Showtime, saying, "I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars." Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. He is now suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate financial...
The lawsuit claims that money from major fights, including those against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, was directed into accounts controlled by Al Haymon instead of going directly to Floyd. Years later, when Floyd's team requested access to Showtime's financial records, they were told the documents were either lost or unavailable, raising suspicions of mismanagement. Analysts say this case highlights the difficulties even top athletes face when dealing with massive wealth. Poor oversight and reliance on others can lead to major losses. Floyd's legal move is seen as an attempt to recover money he believes was mishandled, showing the complex relationships between fighters, managers, and media networks in boxing.
Parties to see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about, or did know about, or maybe did not understand. Because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Haymon and not directly to him. Regardless, I don't know the outcome of that. I will talk about this, though. The absolute blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't have his...
WAC 100 explains that Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains calm and unaffected by public opinion or social media, which he does not personally manage. He says much of Floyd's wealth is structured through businesses, trusts, and investments, making it less visible to the public. This setup helps maintain his financial stability, even if it appears otherwise. According to WAC 100, Floyd values peace, family, and personal happiness just as much as money, often spending quality time with his grandson, showing that true wealth goes beyond finances.
That's going on out there, it's phasing him but get to him. He doesn't even control his social media. He doesn't see it. I'm telling you, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's posting himself. He has someone that
he doesn't see it. He doesn't pay any attention. When I need something done, I have to send it through different channels for it to get done. But no, he's definitely not. I mean, we know that. He has tons of businesses going on. They were making accusations that he didn't own the things he owned. You're not going to find nothing in Floyd's name directly. You're not going to find... When you're dealing with that type of money and those type of situations, you know this, Vlad, it's set up. It could be a foundation, a trust.
Yeah, shell companies, corporations, LLCs, whatever.
I know some of these people that they'll say they own 40 different companies.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.